Here, amid anger over the government's plan for a 14-day quarantine for arrivals to the UK, a hint that some of the rules could be relaxed by the end of July.
And the row over the future of thousands of British Airways staff intensifies. Crew members tell the BBC they're being sacrificed, while the airline says its proposals will protect more jobs.
And they're off. No crowds on the course, but the first post-lockdown winners came on the track at Newcastle as jockeys adapt to racing's return.
The Daily Telegraph's front page focuses on the government's plan to introduce a 2-week quarantine for everyone arriving in the UK. It says the scheme, which will be brought before Parliament today, has caused a revolt among Conservative MPs.
The Daily Mail leads with a study funded by the World Health Organization that suggests keeping just 1 metre apart from others rather than 2 metres, as we do here in the UK, could be enough to reduce the risk of catching coronavirus. The paper suggests that the findings could fuel calls from businesses like pubs and restaurants to relax that 2 metre rule, thinking that that might help the economy. It's not that straightforward, though, is it?
Hold the front page, because The Guardian also looks at that World Health Organization research, but the paper warns that reducing the distance we keep apart from each other to only 1 metre could double the infection risk.
This might give us a clue about what we face at airports.
Yes,
this was a well-known Swedish furniture store which opened some of its branches yesterday. This is the Warrington branch. You see the yellow line there, which seems to match their logo rather helpfully, doesn't it? The queue starts out here and goes all the way for a mile. Would you need a sofa that much? Or a tea light? You go all the way. All I wanted was a pot plant. You get to the front. God,
apparently, I think people
hours.
started queuing at 5. I think it opened at 9 or something, and they started queuing at 5:40 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're talking about queues a little bit later, because queues are going to have to change, aren't they? I mean, we're pretty good at queuing.
We do queuing. We
do queuing, but can we do
queuing.
Queuing at 2 metres? We can in the supermarket. People where I go seem to be good at that. Anyway, lots of questions. We know that some sport is back. I mean, we were talking about racing pigeons yesterday, weren't we? And here is the moment. Freedom. More than 4,000 pigeons taking off in the first race since lockdown. Racing pigeons taking flight. Snooker, of course, queued off, and the Queen settled in, apparently. Well, I'm not sure whether they know that, but true, for sure. For a day at the races, not, of course, going there, because we know the racing taking place behind closed doors yesterday.
There were 111 deaths reported yesterday in all settings, and an additional 445 deaths previously not reported where coronavirus tests were carried out in private labs. But the death rate is generally trending downwards, and Britain is beginning to open up again for business. A clear sign of that could be seen outside the 19 IKEA stores that opened up for trade yesterday. At some places, up to 1,000 people were said to be queuing patiently in socially distanced lines. Andy Moore, BBC News.